I looked over at my dad, I walked in, he was looking for jobs.
And he just retired. And at the time, you just had a business that tanked as well.
I didn't have any income coming in. I said, I'm looking at this moped, I'm looking at getting a job with Deliveroo. It's £1,000, I'm 500 short.
He came to the event and everything changed from there. Literally everything.
There's no such thing as the mountaintops without the valleys. Last month, you bought your dream house, which was how much? Thank you for coming down to my house and giving this opportunity for my viewers to understand how you started from basically nothing and have built up a property £1 million portfolio. So how did you guys meet? And then I want to be asking you the hard questions about how you've done this in such a, I say quick time because what you've achieved is, you know, huge.
Yeah, we met when Ricci was DJing. So Ricci was a DJ. Doesn't do it anymore, but we met in a local nightclub. So my best friend was a mutual friend of Ricci's. She introduced us.
What did you like about him so much? Was it his DJ skills?
Do you know what? It actually was that really attracted me to him. I'm a big Kanye West fan. He played Kanye West and I was like, wow, this is it. But also he was his person is so bubbly, so smiley, so likeable.
Yeah.
And that's still today the thing that I love about him the most.
So you met, he was a DJ. What were you doing at the time?
So I just literally started out in my network marketing career. So I just left my full-time job about 6 months before meeting Ricci. So I was in quite a scary time, you know, navigating my life, yeah.
What happened to your job as a DJ?
Well, what happened? They fired me, but I quit at the same time.
Okay.
And and you know, when all that happened, I just thought it's time for me to kind of move on and do something different with my life, you know.
And you went really hardcore on business, but you didn't have mentors or education around you?
No.
Maybe? I know you had a tough time the first couple of years. Tell me what happened.
When I started with property, we just met. I was DJing, I stopped that. When I started, I remember, the thing that really changed was I remember going home and my dad, who's worked all his life, he's in his 60s, worked all his life, hard worker. And I went home one day and he just felt a bit uncomfortable. And I looked over at my dad, I walked in, he was looking for jobs.
And he just retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, I just want to do something.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the only, like my mum had just had open heart surgery, which was a last minute kind of shock.
Right.
And I remember going to the hospital, walking in the doors and seeing my mum with the tubes on her face and she just had, I'm thinking, I don't want my mum to come out of this and worry about money. My sister as well. I'm the youngest of three, and my sister has always had this dream of living on the beach, and she actually invested in me to do the advanced training. Yeah, because
you went to the £1 course though.
Yeah.
And then you registered for some further training.
Yeah, I weren't able to pay for it myself.
Yeah.
Because I had nothing to invest.
I remember meeting your dad, your mom,
Yeah.
your sisters, and you were like this big family.
Yeah.
You were the youngest.
Yeah.
And they did back you, to be fair.
Massively. To my absolute shock.
Why were you shocked?
You know, Ricci's so hungry as a person, but the fact that they believe so much in him to invest him in that way, I think because it's not something my family would do, I found it so endearing. I was like, wow, the fact that they believe so much, and they were right. I mean, thank God they did, but it was incredible when I remember when he came home and told me that he had, you know, invested in the academy and he was starting all this mentoring and he was so excited. It was the adrenaline that came from him. I was like, wow, where have you been? Can I come? I need to get a bit of this energy.
And at the time, you just had a business that tanked as well, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because when we met, that was kind of where you were at. What happened with that?
Well, we moved abroad to work on this business, but it wasn't just a case of moving. It was like we loaded up the car with everything we had. We sacrificed everything.
We let go of the apartment that I rented. We moved and we thought we were going to be there for 3 months just to get the business off the ground. We were actually there for 18 months. And when we came home, I had no money in my bank account. I'd just paid a tax bill and that was all the money that I had left. I had nothing. And I remember it was September 2018. We came back to the UK. And I remember we'd just moved into this, you know, really modest place, renting it. And I just remember standing in the kitchen thinking, this is great, but I don't actually know how we're going to pay the rent next month. It was a hard pill to swallow because 18 months of our lives were happening, it had just happened in another country. And it felt so frustrating. You must have experienced similar feelings as a business owner. It's like, when am I getting my break? You know, I've put in everything. But I think for me, the hardest part of everything was that when I started my business, it took off. And then it tanked. And then I had to get it back up again.
Right.
And that's a really hard thing to do as a business owner, because you start to think, was I just lucky? Did I just get in at the right time? Am I going to be able to repeat that again?
You were just messaging me on Facebook,
Yeah.
like trying to get free tips and bits.
Yeah.
And
He was,
stuff.
he
I still
was.
look at them sometimes.
I was applying for jobs and stuff. I wasn't getting any jobs. I remember.
And at this point, just to be clear, you hadn't done any of my training at that
No,
point. You were
no,
just
no.
quit your job got fired. Perrie had her thing going
Yeah.
on. We're really trying. And I
Yeah.
think everybody that you see that's super successful has been, there's no such thing as the mountaintops without the valleys. You can't have the all mountaintops.
Leadership's built in the dip.
Yeah.
You know.
And you've got to be prepared to risk everything, which is what you did. So when you reached out to me
Yeah.
on Facebook, and do you remember what you said to me?
Yeah, it was a really nice message. I just said, hey, Samuel, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for sharing all of your videos and advice. I'm looking at getting started out in property, and I'm looking for events local to me. Any beginning tips to be useful? Thanks. And you replied literally 15 minutes later. And I remember seeing it, and I was thinking, he's replied. Oh my goodness. I opened it, and I just sent you this really nice, and all you put was, stop looking for events near you and do whatever it takes. And I remember thinking, man, this guy's a bit of a dick. I was really nice. I said, hope you're well.
Yeah, because I
Thanks for
respond to everybody, so I can't respond a nice long message.
Yeah.
I was just like, just come to the program, bro.
I thought he'd been quite direct. So I thought I'll be direct too. And I sent you a picture. And it was a booking confirmation of a free program. And I just put, see you there.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is I go to this program, brought my whole family along,
I
my
remember
dad,
that
my
day.
sisters. And we enrolled onto the advanced training. My sister invested in me to do it. And the crazy thing is, I go onto the advanced training, and within a week of the advanced training, I got my first rent-to-rent deal.
That's sick.
And that made £800 a month. I got a second one, made £1,600 financially free. Then
What did
started
you
to
think at this point when you saw him suddenly getting all these rent-to-rents and stuff? Were you worried
Well,
or
no,
pleased?
I wasn't worried, because he was putting in the work. Like, he was making phone calls every single day.
Yeah.
And the way he was speaking, bearing in mind, we were working on this business together, and then he'd started his own thing. That made me a bit nervous. And the way his work ethic, what I was watching, the phone calls, the rejection, everything. And I don't know, it took however many phone calls.
161 calls you made.
That was it, yeah. He would go to Costa and do it from there, like, so he could sit down, because we didn't have an office or anything like that, so he could actually feel like he was in a professional
I
setting.
thought I changed my environment.
Yeah.
I remember going Costa. I used to buy Costa every morning, and I'd make it last all day, so I didn't have to buy another one.
I used to drop him off on the way to the gym.
Wow.
And hearing that resilience, as
Yeah.
soon as he got his first one, set it up, after that it was like clockwork. Once you got that first one, the first one's always the hardest.
Yeah.
He was going from there. He was so confident.
Because the month prior, you were literally applying for Deliveroo jobs.
Yeah. I applied for a job with Deliveroo, and it got rejected because I didn't have any transport. Didn't have a car, didn't have a moped. So we were like thinking, what should we do? And we thought, let's get a moped. So we started looking, and the cheapest moped was £1,000.
We were going to finance it, but we couldn't get the
I
finance.
had £500, so I was £500 short. And I remember messaging, friends and stuff, asking for the money, and everyone was just saying, we can't lend it to you, we haven't got it. But there's one guy that I grew up with, he's like my best friend. And I remember asking, I thought if I asked him for the money, it's good. But it's embarrassing asking for the money. So I kind of indirectly asked him, and I said, I'm looking at this moped, I'm looking at getting a job with Deliveroo. It's £1,000, I'm 500 short. I've got 500, so I'm 500 short.
Hoping he'd be like, I'll lend it to you.
Yeah, but he didn't. He said, hopefully you'll get it soon. And I remember thinking, even he doesn't believe in me.
That's a low place, though, to be able to not even
lowest
afford a
of the
moped to get a job at Deliveroo.
And that's when we said we need to go home. Like, we need to go back home.
Yeah.
And that, in that moment, felt like the hardest decision, because we were then going to come up with a deposit for a house to rent. I had a tax bill coming up, which you can't be deferring, it needed to be paid, and all of these other feelings. That we sold every piece of furniture that we had in the house that we lived in when we were abroad. Everything you could think of for £5, £4, £3, it was going. All of that money, do you remember? All of that cash we created, that got us home, that got the tax bill paid, and got us our first month's deposit. And then he came to the event, and everything changed from there. Literally everything.
So you got your first rent-to-rent on the programme,
Yeah.
which was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you're property millionaires. You're making tens of thousands of pounds. What do you think the big switch was? Because I know you've exploded.
Yeah,
What was
I
it?
think for me, it's environment.
Mm.
Because when I was surrounded with yourself and you know, other people at the training. It's just that environment that was like pushes you on, and other people wanting to see you win.
Yeah.
You know, other people wanting to pull you up and say, hey, you've got this, you can do this.
How long did it take before you were able to help I know you said your dad and also your mom, and like, were you able to ever get them out of that slump as well?
Yeah, so it was just about a year after we'd started doing the rent-to-rent, and we scaled up a deal sourcing business, you know, and after about a year of being on the training, not only did I help myself, and I managed to say to my dad, you don't have to work anymore, you know.
Nice.
We retired my dad. Same with my mum. Said the same to my mum. You don't have to work anymore. Said Perrie's mum as well.
Yeah.
Said to Perrie's mum, you know, she was working. We said, you don't have to work anymore. And recently we said to my sister, you know, you don't have to work anymore.
I remember Ricky saying to me about 3 years ago, it was like, I'm running out of family members to retire.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, you guys, I mean, I've seen you as well speaking at conferences and getting asked to speak because of your success with your fashion and everything and your business success. And I was like, man, I really need Ricky to come and share his story at one of our events, because you know, you literally were dominating in rent-to-rents, dominating in deal sourcing. I could see the money that was coming in. And when you came and spoke at one of our programs, everybody was just so inspired, and it kind of just became a bit of a pattern, didn't it? You'd come down as a volunteer and just sort of share. How did that make you feel?
When I got invited to that first program where you asked me to share, I remember meeting someone that, you know, was in a similar situation, and, you know, fast forward for a few weeks, their situation had changed.
Yeah.
And that gave me fulfillment. Yeah. That for me was like, this is what I need to be doing now. Showing other people this is possible. Helping other people do the same. What
does an average day look like then for you guys now? Like, how do you work together on the businesses?
Well, an average day is that we're very busy. I've just turned 30. You know, Ricky's coming up to 30, and we're both really in the peak of our careers, separately and together as well. You know, Ricky obviously loves being with you guys and giving back and mentoring people and helping people, and I have multiple businesses going on and getting busier and busier. So I primarily do work from home. I think it's important to say that, but I have a very regimented schedule. So like I book certain things in. I tend to film content in the morning, early afternoon, do calls, Zooms, afternoon.
And what's your product then? Because I know it's like mostly fashion.
Yeah.
So what is it like that you're sort of selling?
Selling wise, I work with skincare and beauty products, and I also work with fashion. So I have my own fashion collection with a really successful fashion brand. So I have my own collection with them. So I really get stuck into like designing and that process. And then I also, the other side of it is that I create content. So I show people how to style clothes. I create reels, you know, kind of shortened versions of YouTube.
And you're mega successful.
Yeah.
Like your Instagram followers.
Yeah.
How many followers have you got now?
I'm on nearly 500,000, so wow. 450k.
Well, when me and Ricky are walking about in the street, you know, sometimes people will come up and they'll stop us because they'll have seen us on the property side.
Yeah.
But recently we were jet skiing.
Yeah, we went
and someone came up and said, "Oh, excuse me," and I thought, oh, they're probably maybe they've come to see me maybe, and they said, "Are you Perrie's partner? Can I get a picture?" Because we're massive fans of Perrie.
That is so funny. But do you know what? Like, all laugh aside, people do not realise it is hard work. I do not stop. Like, it's a constant 24/7, and you understand with your YouTube, always thinking of your initiative has to constantly keep ticking. You go to bed at night and you're thinking of new content ideas, new ways to get seen.
Yeah.
You know, but it's all about giving value.
I've seen you two as well being competitive about the finances. Like Ricky will sell a few deals and you'll be like,
yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah. Well, I overhear him on the phone, and we are quite competitive. If I hear him, we'll get really excited, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing. I think as well, when you're successful, I think it's important to always celebrate those wins, whether they're big or small, and that's what we always do. So I'll hear him sell a few deals, and I'm like, right, okay, now I need to get on my game and make enough commission today to match him. And that's just like healthy competitiveness.
It's funny though, because normally with couples, there's one who's kind of like the leader, the driving force, and then the other one sort of plays a more supportive role, whether that's the man or the woman. But with you two, you're kind of like both the leaders.
But we are both, but sometimes it changes. Like, sometimes it can be me being the supportive one, especially with Ricky recently, because he's just been smashing it, like everything he's been doing. And
I bought so many houses recently.
Like, I like to play that supportive role.
Yeah.
But then recently it's been with me, loads of things have come into kind of fruition at once, which is always the way, isn't it?
How do you maintain a healthy relationship with so much about business going on? Do you ever just go for a date night and not talk about work?
I think
we're quite excited, aren't we, at the moment? So we enjoy talking about what we've got going on.
Yeah.
But communication is just everything.
and when we do spend time together, it's quality time.
Yeah.
you
But we
know.
communicate, like, you know, when Ricky's with you guys, you know, doing what he loves, he's not on his phone. Like, we can't be texting all the time and talking. And that's actually the best thing ever, because when he comes home, he tells me about all the success that the students are having. He tells me about, you know, oh, this person just started and they're already financially free, and I love hearing it.
Last month, you bought your dream house, which was how much?
1.1 million.
That's a good price.
Yeah.
Very good price. Good negotiator.
Yeah.
It was good negotiating
Yeah,
as well.
very, very good. And I know you're refurbing that to like a really high
Yeah.
standard as well. And you've just repaid your sister,
Yeah.
who invested in you, that
Yeah.
bit of seed money.
Yeah.
How have you returned the favour?
So we bought a house on the beach.
Have you completed?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How much was that?
That was 560,000.
It must feel weird that 5 years ago you couldn't afford to pay rent and you were getting declined from Deliveroo, and now you're just buying £500,000
And declined
house.
for moped finance. Let's
Yeah.
just put that into perspective.
Fuck them!
Yeah, you could decline me now.
That's crazy though, isn't it?
We were
Yeah.
already talking about that on the way up here, weren't we?
Yeah.
And you're a very humble couple. You don't talk about how much you're earning
No.
and brag, but you're earning tens of thousands of pounds a month.
Yeah.
And it's just going up and up and up. Your properties are going up in value. What's life like now? I know you still work really hard,
Yeah.
but how's life changed?
We do work hard,
We do,
but we live life on our terms.
Yeah, for me, it's about freedom and being able just to make the choices that you want to make. Just to give you an example, we were in Dubai in March, and it was business and pleasure, wasn't it? Because I was launching a collection, like a fashion collection. And I was talking to my sisters on WhatsApp, and one of my sisters said to me, I'm really upset. I've got to cancel my holiday in September to Crete. They were supposed to go 10 days all inclusive because my car's broken. I need to get a new car and I don't want to finance it. So the money that we had for the holiday is gone. And I remember me and Ricky just looked at each other and I was like, I'm gutted. I don't want to read this. Like, it annoys me that she's in that position, because she studied for 5 years at university. She's a veterinary nurse, but the money just doesn't stretch. Her partner is an accountant, but it's the same thing. He's still studying now. So we just decided there and then, do you know what? We've booked a holiday. We're going to take you all on holiday. We're going in October. Got taken to the airport when they're going to find out at the airport where they're going. But it's that for me, that exact thing is what money does for me. Yes, it's great. You can buy what you want. We haven't got kids yet, I'm
choices
sure.
it gives you,
But,
innit?
you know, with your kids, you experience the same sort of thing. But it's just being able to, for us, family is everything. We love to give back to our
And
family.
that's why I love you guys so much, and that's why we've become so close,
Yeah.
because we've got loads of people that have become millionaires through the training. But the
Yeah.
fact that you're you've helped your own family,
Yeah.
and your own friends, but now, I mean, you're helping finance some of the stuff that we're doing. And we've
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff with the charity.
You love it.
We do deals together as well.
It's like 5 years ago, I used to be in the room with Samuel at the trainings, and he'd come over and he'd help me. And I'd be sat there thinking, you know, like, there he is, it's Samuel Leeds. And
Yeah.
now I spend, you know, so much time with you and your family, and here it's like, it's crazy. Yeah. You know, it's crazy how far we've come.
What do you think when you see people that were like you, and now you have the opportunity to be able to, through our training company, which we've now partnered together, be able to have the opportunity to help mentor them and pull them up? Like, what is it about that you love so much?
It's just the fulfillment of seeing other people, you know, that I can relate to, that were in that similar situation. When I see them, and it's like, you know, showing them that this is possible, helping them through that process, and then afterwards, you know, them just seeing what they can do with it.
Yeah.
That's what gives me fulfillment now.
And you're a massive advocate. You're not on any commission
No.
for the training,
No.
even though you sell it
Yeah.
so passionately. You'll be like, you're not on any commission. Obviously, we do pay you to speak as a speaker because
So.
yeah, no, because it's only right. I know you do it anyway, because for 2 years you were speaking.
No, I did. I did it
For free?
Yeah, I did it for free. And then I
remember that, and I was like, "Are you
Yeah.
sure you want to keep doing this for free?"
yeah, and I said I'll keep doing it.
But that's the thing. There's a lot of people that would love to say to me all the time, "Oh, can I speak on your stage?" Or can I? And they're either trying to grow their own brand or they just want to get paid. But the fact that you did it, you just completely didn't ask for anything. And after a year, I was
You were the one
thinking,
that said to me, "No, we're gonna start."
yeah,
you
after
know,
a year, I thought, I bet Ricky's going to be like, come on now, but you didn't.
No.
And then another year went by, and you were just like, no, man, I just love doing it.
Yeah.
I'm making loads of money in property,
did.
and Perrie's making loads of money in fashion, and I just want to help. And then that was when I thought, you know what, I value that. And I got to a point where I thought we couldn't really afford to lose you, because people were coming to the programs sometimes specifically to see you.
Yeah.
Is Ricci going to be here? Loads of people were coming. You'd meet people out in Dubai doing your things, and they'd come in, fly in. So I thought, there needs to be a fair exchange.
Yeah.
What made you not set up your own training company? Why did you not set up your own property training company? What made you want to kind of sort of team up with what we're doing?
Firstly, I've been through your process. I've been through your training, and hundreds of others have as well. And it's a proven process that works. As long as you take the action, it's proven to work. And the mission that you're on, I just got hooked onto that mission with you. So the reason I wouldn't do it myself, and I haven't done it, is because firstly, I've been through yours. And
the best is already there.
yes, like,
Yeah.
why would I don't need to do it.
No.
I don't need to. I'd rather just be part of a mission that's bigger than me, partner with yourself and, do it together.
Yeah, yeah. What are your personal goals then?
My personal goals are to just keep on helping as many people as I possibly can change their life and, in effect, help others.
You know what? That sounds cheesy, but I know that it's true.
Yeah.
Because I know you.
Yeah.
People might think, oh, whatever. But I see Ricci literally, you'll know this, of course. Like, someone will get a rent-to-rent deal or something, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, I got a viewing on Tuesday. And he'll be like, I'll come with you.
Then I'll be like, listen, it's all good. I'm coming with
He'll
you.
be on the other side of the world, and he'll be like, I'm coming.
He does. He drives all over the place. And he's not getting paid to do it. Just because he knows that they've come on the programme and they've got something, and he's just off.
But also when he started, and when you started doing viewings, what you had, that mentoring really helped you when you
if you've never done it before, it's uncomfortable. And when I know that, when I'd invested, although my sister, it was kind of bigger for me because my sister invested in me to do the training, so I was like, I really need to make this work. But I know when someone invests, we take that very seriously. And, there's a sense of responsibility. So I know that if someone's invested, firstly, they're serious, and when they get a viewing and I can see them sometimes I'm just like, do you know what? I'm going to come and help you. I'm going to come and help you get this over the line.
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Perrie, when will enough ever be enough? Will there ever get to a point where you're like, all right?
I don't know. This is a question that I ask myself, isn't it? Like daily. Ricci always says to me, he says, you get to the top of the mountain and then you say, I want to get to, what did you say to me one time? You say you get to the top of the mountain and you're at the top and you're like, no, I need to go up again. But there's no mountain for you to go to. But I'm always in my head, recreating or redefining what I actually want. I think for me, the moment where I'll probably say enough is enough when we have kids, which I don't know when that's going to be, but I've said to myself, I'm 30, I want the next 5 years now, because I think 30s is the new 20s. Like 30s is the new 20s, but you got your SHIT together, right? Like you got it together. So for me, next 5 years, I'm drilling in hard in every aspect of what both of us can. We want to buy more properties. We want to get at least another 2 properties by the end of the year. And then I think after 5 years, I'll see where I'm at. But I will never be the person ever, and you will never be either, that can just be a parent. Being a parent is the greatest job you can ever have, but I will not be a parent where I can't not be involved in my businesses or be involved in exciting projects.
It's not when your life ends. For me, it's like a new beginning.
Yeah, I just think that, and that is another reason why we want to help our family so much, because when we are blessed enough, fingers crossed, to have children, our family are right there for us. They're not having to miss, Ricci is the only son in his family. He's going to be carrying on his legacy for his family, which means so much to your dad and your mum. His mum and dad are not going to miss a moment of their grandchild's life.
What does financial freedom mean to you?
Well, financial freedom is just when your reoccurring income covers or is equal to or greater than your living expenses, which, by the way, everyone's living expenses are going up right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I've seen, is I've done it myself, and I've seen hundreds of others do it, become financially free very quickly.
Yeah.
Because if you just cover your living expenses, you can do that quickly.
Yeah.
That's what in my definition would be.
Yeah, if you're talking about actual definition, that's what it is. But I think for me personally, is literally about being able to wake up in the morning and make a choice. Like, the choice might be what car you drive, where you live, what clothes you wear. And it's not even about materialistic choices. It's just about having that freedom to choose, because so many people, unfortunately, don't have that. You know, so for me, that's what it's about, just having the freedom to choose and not having to check my bank account every 5 seconds. And I used to have a notes on my phone. I would write down every single transaction that I did, because I had to literally count the pennies that I had so I could pay back debt collectors, just to have enough money to put £5 in my car to get to work.
Do you think you appreciate being rich more when you've been poor?
Oh,
Yeah.
100.
I think so as well.
Like, not even a million, trillion, billion %.
So when people are struggling financially,
Yeah.
really, they should be like, great, you know what? I'll remember these days with a smile.
When your
Yeah.
back's against the wall, and this is what we said about our business took off and then it tanked when we moved abroad. When your back is against the wall, it feels like at the time everything's against you, but that is when you learn the most. And then when you do turn that corner, I look back on who I was then and who I am now, and I thank my former self. You know, thank you for the challenges, thank you for the obstacles, because they've given us what we have today.
What do you think about the cost of living crisis that's happening at the moment and inflation? Because I personally worry for people that are just in regular jobs at the minute.
Totally. We were sitting with your family, weren't we, talking
Yeah.
about if I earned, say, £1,500 a month, if you combined as a couple, and that's so each, if you have if you live down south, we live down south, the house prices are really, really high, just for a modest 3-bed house. Like, my sister just bought one, it was like 400 grand. So it's like £1,000 mortgage. By the time you add all the bills and everything, there's nothing left.
Well, by the time even if you rented as well, by the time you paid your rent or your mortgage, and you know you've got your living stuff.
Yeah.
You haven't even had a meal yet.
So what advice would you give then to somebody that was watching this that wants to get started in business of some kind?
For me, my advice is you have just got to do it now. So if you've got something in your mind, don't let your brain stop you, just do it.
Yeah, I think as well, like just don't overthink.
Yeah, don't overthink.
Use it as motivation.
Yeah.
Use this as motivation and a push to say, do you know what? I need to make a change and look at what's going to be the best case, likely case, and worst case.
Don't let it stop you. If you've got an idea, or if you want to enroll in something, you want to do something new, don't not do it because of the cost of living. Make it work.
How do you think the cost of living crisis and the recession that we're potentially entering into now will affect your businesses, like with the property stuff? You've just bought a lot of houses.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think is going to happen to properties?
Well, for me, with property, it doesn't matter what happens. There'll always, from the business point of view, there's always people that are looking to go and stay somewhere. Service accommodation. There's always people that are looking to go on holiday, go on business trips, and they need accommodation. And you know, we're going to
And in the
provide.
UK,
Yeah,
I was just going to say, I think that people are going to curb their spending. Think about it realistically. What the first thing people are going to do is they're going to stop going on like fancy holidays abroad and stuff like that, because, you know, it's an unnecessary expense. So what do they do in replacement of that? They go on a staycation in the UK. But they do.
Yeah.
That's what we saw after the pandemic as well.
Yes.
You know, that's what people will do.
It's the same with HMOs.
Yeah.
It's like when we have a recession and people are struggling, everyone wants to rent rooms.
especially now as well with the bills going up.
So it's actually going to massively help us.
Yeah.
As bad as that sounds.
Yeah.
If you own stuff and cost of living happens, well, that's a good thing because you own stuff. Yeah. So if things go up and you own stuff, then you're getting richer.
Yeah.
The people who are struggling, the people that don't own anything, they'll get poorer because they don't own anything.
Yeah.
So my advice would be get starting owning stuff now.
Yeah.
Businesses, assets.
Yeah.
Learn. If Ricky hadn't have gone on the academy, I don't know what we would have done. We wouldn't have been buying that. We would have wrecked it pretty fast.
Yeah.
And also, that academy has probably paid for itself now. I don't know. Hundreds.
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds of times over. One of the things me and Ricky talk about a lot and really believe is the importance of having a good circle around you.
Yeah.
A circle. And we are very inclusive of who we have in our circle. We're not picky, you know? We want to give people a chance. And I think having the right people around you is so vital to success. What do you think about that, Perrie?
100%. The number one thing I would say about your circle and who you surround yourself with is very simple. If you don't aspire to be like that person, don't take advice from them. Because it blows my mind how many people take advice from somebody that's a nobody. And I think, why are you taking advice about money from someone that's broke or someone that's in debt? That was me 5 years ago. I would take money advice from people that had none. And then I took that advice and it got me nowhere. So for me, I keep my circle small, I keep it intimate, but with the right people that I truly would love to be like myself.
That's so good.
You know?
And I think that, one of the reasons I love you guys so much is because 2018, 2019, we had a rough ride. We had a lot of trolls as my brand kind of blew up. We had media stories, which mostly have now been removed. We had a lot of shit,
Yeah.
And you guys stood with me through that and stood with us as a company. What did you think, Ricky? What did you think because you were personally because you were a student at the time. Now I know you're a trainer and a mentor, but at the time you were on the academy and you were going through it. How did that affect you? Did you ever feel like jumping ship?
When I was getting all of these comments and stuff like that, for me, I kind of had like a shield around me because it was like, I know this works because I've done it.
Yeah.
So when it happened, I'd already got rent-to-rents. I'd already started deal sourcing. So I knew it worked. And so everything that was being said was like just rebounding off because I was fully focused and I knew that the process worked and there was nothing that could be said that would ever, there was some points where I thought, is this going to work out? Is everything going to...
Everyone was telling you, weren't they, that the rent-to-rents and all this stuff, it won't stay around. It's going to all crumble.
But I was like... I was like maybe that close, but the thing that stopped me from actually saying, you know what, I'm done with this, was knowing that the process worked and that I had done it.
Yeah.
And how loyal you'd been to me as a student as well.
Have you had to deal with any haters with your...
Yeah. There's a very nasty blogging site that should be banned by the government, but it's not. And it's basically supposed to be a safe place where people can write their opinions. Well, opinions then turn into bullying and turn into, vile comments. And there's basically, if you're an influencer or if you're a person, you're probably on there. If you're a person of, attention, let's say, someone will start a thread. So they might be like, Samuel Leeds, blah, blah, blah. And then someone jumps onto it and then it becomes like a thread. And I remember we just announced that my first edit was coming out with the brand that I work with. I was on the highest high possible. Wasn't it? Do you remember? We went to London to shoot it. It was my biggest career break to date. It's something that I'd manifested and worked on for so long. And it launched, it sold out within minutes. It was so successful. And the day after, someone just happened to forward me the link to the thread. And they said, just take a look at this. And the things that were being written about me, the pure lies, the insults to my mum, about my finances, just about my looks, about my attitude, my person, everything. They're just totally ridiculed. And I remember I was sitting in the shower, I cried my eyes out. And then I got it out and I was like, never, ever again will they get anything from me. Like, that's it now.
How do you deal with that? Because I think every famous person or someone that's very successful and is in the public spotlight, not saying that you're famous, but everybody that is in the spotlight and is very successful, I'm sure has been through that. I know a lot of friends that are very, very well known, celebrities. They've all been through it. How do you deal with that when you're getting that kind of abuse?
For me, it was just being staying true to me.
Yeah, it was.
Staying true to me and, stepping outside of it and looking at, right, what are they saying? Is it factual and is it true?
Yeah.
And if it's not, forget it.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I look now and I think, right, what I was doing was working. I'm a part of a great company that is helping other people. The process works. So when I actually think about it logically, I just thought, no, I'm staying true to myself here. I'm not gonna change or quit or do anything like that because I need to stay true to myself.
I think if it's coming from a good place, if a mentor or somebody close to you who's actually coming from a good place can give you criticism.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's uninvited opinions that I don't appreciate. And I still get it from time to time and I just bat it away. It's like, whatever. But I'm obviously now in this industry, which I was catapulted into it very fast. So I had to learn very fast. I know people's careers have been ruined because of this and people have mentally suffered and, people have to get help and therapy. So
and that's one of the reasons that we decided to sue them because
100%.
we thought we need to make a stand, not just for myself and my customers and my staff and but also just to show people that it's not acceptable.
The main reason that I stuck with the company at that time because I sat back and I thought, actually, if this keeps going and something goes wrong with the company because of this, look at all the people that are being helped. Look at the people that are coming through it and having success. It's just wrong if that was happening. And that's what made me stick with it because I knew it worked. And I thought if I step back now from the company, then I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah. What's your most exciting project at the moment?
Well, the latest one, the Brighton house.
Yeah.
The beach house in Brighton.
Sister's going to be living there for 6 months of the year.
And then they're going to rent it out.
So in the winter months, they'll rent it out.
Yeah. There's someone in there now until Christmas.
So it's like a holiday home for her.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
And you've managed to make it profitable still.
Yeah.
Or straight away. Straight away.
We had someone ready to go in before we completed.
What does your dad think about, because you retired your dad quite quickly, what does he think about what you guys have done within property and business?
Oh, I was with him yesterday, and we were in the car, and he just turned to me and he said, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, he is so proud.
Yeah, he's very proud.
I've had some good conversations with your parents
they're
since you've become very
amazing.
successful, and they're beautiful. So
Yeah.
what will be your final pieces of wisdom and advice for someone realising that actually maybe a job doesn't cut the mustard anymore? I want to get into business. I don't want to have to worry about money anymore in finance. I want to start a business. What would you say?
I think for me, I'm really passionate about what I do, but I do a lot of different things. So I think what holds people back these days is they're a little bit like, well, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what my space is. But it doesn't have to be like you have to be into fashion, or you have to be, people say to me all the time, I want to be an influencer, but I don't love fashion. Well, there's loads of other things you can influence about. You are essentially an influencer in property. People wouldn't think that that's a thing, but it really is. But I think if you want to make a change, you have to get up and do it now. Like, I think that people always next week, next month, next year, well, that turns into the next 10 years and you've never done anything. So set yourself a challenge to do something straight away, whether it's hop on a webinar, where they're giving some value about something, whether it's message an influencer and ask them some advice like Ricci messaged you. Do something that's going to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, make you feel a little bit on edge, and that will be the start of your journey to doing something bigger and better.
And just making a decision just to say, do you know what, this is what I'm going to do, and nothing's going to stop me, and going all in on that.
And too many people, so one other thing, are scared of what other people think. That is the biggest thing that I think holds people back, and I let go of that. I know that I'm a bit different. I know that I'm loud. I know that I have a lot of energy, and I'm always pinging ideas 24/7. That's who I am, and I know that people have said behind my back that they find me too much and they find me intense, but I'm being authentic. I'm successful because I've stayed true to myself, and the people that love me and follow me and follow my content and message me on Instagram every day, my loyal followers, they love me for who I am and they know that I'm authentic.
What I'd say as well is, don't tell people what you're going to do, show them, and then pull them up when you've done it.
Yeah, 100%. Because Ricci, you've influenced loads of your friends to get into property. We meet people on holiday and they're at the course the week after.
Well, we're going to be running a course next month, aren't we? Which is £1 to come down to. What happens to these £1 events, Rex?
Oh, what happens? What doesn't happen? You see what's possible. You'll go through it yourself. Me and you, our team will all be there. We go through it. We show what you can do and how it's possible. But then here's the interesting thing. This is where it gets good. Because once we've shown others how to do it, we then get them to do it there and then as well with the support of us.
Yeah.
It's just an incredible day. It's where I started, which is why I'm so passionate about keep coming back and showing other people, because that's how I started at one of them programs.
Do you think £1, Perrie, is it a bit expensive? Do we need to drop it?
Probably 50p. You could probably, no joke, find £1 on the floor if you looked hard enough.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for coming down and sharing your story. And also thank you for your friendship and your continued support.
Thanks.